Hi everybody, Howie Mandel here. Creativity in just under a minute. Just take a regular shopping bag and all you need is a pencil and a pair of scissors. If you just take the shopping bag and you clip the two corners off that side and that side, and you just take the pencil, and on the front I write shoe, I don't know if you can see it, stuff. Then, can you see it? It says shoe stuff. Then you created a bag where you can put all your shoe stuff, and it's easy to reach into. Like you go, oh, where's my extra laces? Or where's some stuff for my shoes? That's what that is. Keep joining in for other craft ideas.
So the creepy Howie Mandel weird video of shoe stuff crafting that he did, I had to dig into it because it's a little weird, considering nobody talks about shoe stuff in a bag, and why would you do that when you already have everything on your shoes anyway? So I looked into the Wayfair logo, right? And I made it and I drew it, and then I folded it up and it makes a little house, right? Weird. So then I did what he did to the bag, and look, when you open it up, bam! Wayfair 3D logo, people. They are communicating. Communication, 100%. Look at the logo.
Calling about the Twitter rumor, is that correct?
No, rumor? What are you talking about? Oh yeah, I have the name of one. Twitter? I'm not on Twitter. What are you talking about?
Okay, I must have been mistaken. Do you have a name or an item that you were looking for?
Yeah, but I'm just curious. What do you mean? Like, what rumor? What are you talking about? I've never had a company when I've called ask me about a rumor.
Oh, I'm sorry. We've just been getting a lot of calls about some incorrect information that's been circulating. It has to do with high-priced items, which we have debunked as false, but I'm sorry, I must have made incorrect conclusions. If you have an item you are shopping for, I'm happy to assist with that.
Yeah, I do. Let me pull it up real quick. Brand is WFX. It's like a utility armoire cabinet.
Okay, those items actually have been removed from the site.
Why?
Due to some incorrect product information that was provided from the supplier, they had to be removed and renamed and repriced.
So what is the reprice on it? So it's not 12?
Currently we are working on getting that repriced at this time.
So why would you put it on your site as $13,000 if it's not $13,000?
I don't know why the items were added to our site. That was information provided by our supplier. We are currently investigating that.
Oh, so this isn't... You guys, they control your site?
No, they do not, but they do provide their product information when they use our site to sell their products.
So is this what you're talking about as the rumor? Because that's not a rumor. What you're confirming to me is not rumor, it's facts. The facts are you said that you took it down. The facts are you said that it was put up at that price. So what do you say? What you're trying to say this is a rumor. What you're telling me is unless you're spreading rumors and not telling me facts.
Oh, I'm sorry, sir. I didn't mean to imply anything.
Look, no, I'm just telling you what you told me. You said that I was calling about a rumor, and all you're starting to do is, and I'd asked about this item, and then you start giving me all facts, which is exactly what the Twitter article says. So you're confirming what it said?
Well, I am confirming that there was false information posted to Twitter.
No, well, you just confirmed that. You said these items were really high priced. We've since taken them down.
Yes, that's all incorrect. That's all correct.
Oh, so that's all correct. So what is the rumor then? What's the rumor?
The rumor is that it had something to do with human trafficking, which is absolutely false.
So why would you sell a cabinet that's a piece of shit for $13,000?
I do not.
And then blame it, and then you're gonna blame it on the supplier?
Sir, I'm sorry. I do not have any more information I can provide at this time. Is there anything else I can assist you with today?
Yes, I actually want to get a pillow as well. Do you guys sell pillows? Or did you take all those down?
Sir, if there's nothing else I can actually help you with today, I will need to end the call.
Shame on you for working for that company. Shame on you.
Hello and welcome, fellow digital soldiers, to True Reporting. It's the 14th of July, and on today's podcast, as you can see from the intro video, Anons have dug up and exposed Wayfair. I hope more and more will rise to the surface because these shell companies need to be exposed furthermore. Also, speaking of exposure, we've also seen Chrissy Teigen being exposed in real time. Dates of tweets going back all the way to 2011 to 2013, and she's now deleted 28,000 of them. We'll be digging into that a little more as well. We will also be talking about Miss Maxwell. She has been denied bail, and her trial will begin on July 2021. Let's hope she stays alive. Am I right? And finally, friends, we'll be going over a very detailed thread going into sex trafficking, deep underground military bases, dealing with CV, and also national parks. So a lot is in store for today's podcast. And always, it's a pleasure to be on the front lines with each and every one of you day in and day out. Because where we go one, we go all. Guys, let me tell you about ketowiththomas.com. This stuff's going to be good for you, I can promise you. Have you found yourself grazing at the fridge a lot more than usual these past couple of months? If so, you are certainly not alone. I'm fairly sure that you've even walked into a health food store or flipped on the television. You've no doubt heard of the ketogenic diet. I've heard of it. Listen, it helps all of us. We're stuck at home because of CV. It's time to get healthy. You need to listen up. Keto Elevate is specifically designed to help quickly and efficiently raise your ketone levels so that you can reap the benefits of the keto diet. And right now, guys, is the perfect time to focus on your health, and the Keto Elevate is ready to help. We know your health is paramount, and during these trying times, we have a very special offer in place. Guys, they are going to give this to you for 51% off and free shipping within the United States. That's right, up to 51% off the regular price. Not only that, because we want to give you all the tools to set yourself up for a lifetime of great feeling. You want to feel good with your body. Listen, click the link below right now, www.ketowiththomas.com, and order your supply today. Be one of the first to reap the rewards of the Keto Elevate, and you will receive 51% off with free shipping in the U.S. Guys, listen, this helps. It lessens the hunger and the cravings, increases brain function, clarity, and focus. We all need that. Also, it gives you better metabolism. I have a problem with that. Incredible natural energy levels, and much, much more. Guys, go to www.ketowiththomas.com. Reap the benefits today, 51% off. I can promise you it'll be worth your while. Thanks, guys, and enjoy the podcast. All right, guys, it's good to have you aboard. Before we get into today's podcast, would you please go ahead and subscribe to True Reporting 2.0? That is my backup channel. The times are tough, my friends, and suppression is on the rise on my main channel. So please do me a favor and subscribe to True Reporting 2.0. Also, friends, would you please go ahead and click that notification bell so when I upload a video or go live on my main channel, you'll get the alert. You'll be the first to know. And finally, guys, would you please be kind enough as to click the like button? The more likes that this video receives, the more times it is recommended to other viewers, thus more eyes on the truth. And with that being said, my friends, let's hop into it together. This is True Reporting. So, coming at us from Chrissy Mayer, some celebrities have been very busy since you-know-who was arrested. Chrissy Teigen, why did you delete over 28,000 tweets yesterday? Tommy G, also Inevitable E.T. were out there exposing this woman day in and day out for the past couple days, actually, and she has deleted 28,000 tweets. What are you hiding there? Miss Teagan. We all know that she is on the flight logs to Epstein Island and much, much more. A lot of this is coming out very rapidly. This story is developing. We've known about her for quite some time. She's talked about eating human flesh and bragging about it. She has pizza tweets and kids dressed as hot dogs, her own children. It's a vile and disgusting thing that these people are involved in. They are demons. Let's not get it twisted. They are in fact demons. And my friends, I hope the sooner the better that these people are brought to justice. I also wanted to bring this to your attention. Speaking about Miss Maxwell, she did have her first court appearance today, and she pleads not guilty. But guess what, guys? How convenient is this? Am I right? The judge presiding over Ghislaine's arraignment today is Allison Nathan, and she is you guessed it, another Obama appointee. They have these people everywhere. That's why the president is trying his damnedest to clean up the judicial system because it is so corrupt. It says here, she's clarifying with the prosecutor whether Maxwell poses a threat to public, not a good sign. Judge Nathan is married to a woman and also served as a special assistant to Obama from 2009 to 2010. Allison J. Nathan currently serves in the office of the Attorney General of the state of New York as special counsel to the Solicitor General, a position she has held since 2010. Nathan served as a special assistant to the President Obama and associate White House counsel prior to joining. Wow. Thankfully, she still denied the bail. Now Ghislaine has to survive a year in detention under her trial. Guys, let's just hope she survives and we make it to this trial in July of 2021. So speaking of Ghislaine, she has denied bail and will remain in a prison ahead of her trial, which is scheduled to take place 1 year from now. The 58-year-old British socialite pleaded not guilty to charges of felicitating the abuse of minors by her boyfriend and former associate, Mr. Epstein. In an appearance by video link at a Manhattan court on Tuesday, which is today, Miss Maxwell, who wore a brown t-shirt and tortoiseshell glasses as she spoke from the Brooklyn jail where she is being held, faces up to 35 years in prison if she is convicted. She replied, "Not guilty, Your Honor," when U.S. District Judge Allison Nathan asked her to plead for the 6 criminal charges that she faces. Explaining her decision to deny bail, Judge Nathan said that Ms. Maxwell has access to extraordinary financial resources, which could provide her the means to, in quote, flee the country. And I actually have some audio for you here in a second. Despite travel restrictions imposed to contain the CV. No combination of conditions could reasonably ensure her presence at court. The risks are simply too great, she added. She said that Ms. Maxwell has displayed sophistication in hiding her resources. She is a spy, she is part of Mossad, and noted her international connections increased the likelihood that she would flee. That conclusion largely matched the prosecutors that they had argued. Speaking in support of denying bail, Government prosecutor Allison Moe painted a picture of Miss Maxwell as a well-connected, wealthy individual with sufficient international ties that she could evade extradition. She alleged that Miss Maxwell has not been transparent about her finances and as such pose an extreme flight risk. Now, my friends, I will let you hear that audio as she will continuously stay detained. And my friends, when does a bird sing? When it is caged. Let's go ahead and take a listen to this audio from the trial today. It's about 20 seconds long. Let's take a listen.
In sum, and for all the foregoing reasons, the court finds that the government has met its burden of showing by a preponderance of the evidence that the defendant is a risk of flight and that no combination of conditions could reasonably assure the presence of the defendant at court.
So, my friends, she is detained for 1 more year. The trial is in July of 2021. Will she survive? Will she get Clinton-sided? Will she be Arkin-sided? Who knows? I've heard from rumor that she's been completely surrounded by military police. Let's hope she survives. Hopefully she won't get CV. I know that that is also a precaution as well. We have to keep this woman alive for her to expose politicians, expose Hollywood, expose CEOs, and many, many more. You're talking athletes as well. A lot of people have been on those flight logs, and she has the evidence. Remember the article I told you about where she has everything. She has CDs upon videos, upon anything you could think of actual physical evidence of Epstein having relations with younger women, and who else knows what's going on. We all know that these people deal with babies. They deal with pineal glands. They deal with adrenochrome. There's so much more out there. You can think of the underground tunnel cameras that were on Epstein Island and why he paid millions and millions of dollars to collapse those within on the island. A lot is out there, guys, and once it reaches the surface, you think people are having trouble with being isolated in their homes and fearful of CV? Wait till this hits the front pages, friends. It's going to be bombshell after bombshell, and I hope people's psyche will be able to withhold all this information coming out and actually can continue to live a normal life, because once this hits, everyone's world will be upside down. This I can promise you. All right, guys, so speaking about sex trafficking, speaking about Maxwell, speaking about Epstein, so on and so forth, Chrissy Teigen, I wanted to bring forth to you an amazing thread that actually came out in June, but it ties so much together about deep underground military bases. It has a lot to do with sex trafficking. It has a lot to do with voting, national parks, sanctuary cities, the whole shebang. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. It says here, watch this spot, and this is actually coming from @SnarkishDano, so please follow this person on Twitter @SnarkishDano. Watch this spot. I will use this tweet to start a thread about mapping overlays like deep underground military bases and the trafficking one. I have gotten my hands on a few other maps that lead to some very interesting linkages and discoveries. CV, trafficking, voting, national parks, and sanctuary cities. Okay, let me preface this real fast by what I found in the past 2 days, to get everyone up to speed so we can see what we are working with. This is going to be a fairly long thread, so please stay with me, work with me, and it'll get done. We will also be discussing some possible conclusions that we can make based on the data shown. This is the part of this that is making my head spin right now, because what I am seeing is quite overwhelming. You'll understand in just a few short moments. First, I started by mapping out of POTUS's tweets calling for the Department of Transportation improvements. I had a feeling that he was calling attention to something, and he was. Then I got the bright idea by my digging buddy, Anon Fork, to look at the human trafficking versus some of the points. Well, I could do one better, as I had this great trafficking map around for a while, the two combined. A lot of this is taking place all over the East Coast and in the central parts of the states. Based on conversation in that thread, Terry Cal 533-06307 dropped this gem on me. I had seen it before, but had always dismissed it. But I decided what the heck and overlaid it. It's a map of the deep underground military bases and the connecting tunnels, still trying to verify the source, which, as we wait for more digging, most of the time these anons do come up with actual facts. Mash it together with the trafficking heat map, and voila. Proof of a huge correlation here. I've never seen two desperate data sources match so exactly before. Like a scary match this time. I was shaking when I saw it. So, we'll take a pause for a moment. We can see all of this right here. All of it overlaid, where we have in first the actual transportation improvements, which the majority of this is on the East Coast and within the central United States. Then we can see here, if we look into human trafficking and some of those points overlapped, we can see that it's almost identical to what we saw with the transportation improvements. Then we will tack on the deep underground military bases and the connecting tunnels all over the East Coast and throughout central the United States. And so we mash it all together and we can see it overlaid, and it is a train wreck, guys. Just the trafficking and the deep underground military base map without Google Earth for clarity. Look at this, my friends. Just the trafficking, the deep underground military base mapped, linked over one another. Quite fascinating. So that gets you up to date on what he was doing. Now we go forward with new and greater information and a possible cue confirmation that we are going in the right direction that was dropped just a bit ago. I'll clarify on that at the end. Onward. One of the requests I got was from Anon Fork again. She has had a theory for a long time that national parks are a national place for abduction, which they most certainly are, and trafficking. So I found a national park pin map and let the overlay do the talking. My goodness, check it out again. More all over the East Coast and through all over California here, and we know what takes place in California. It sure looks like the coastal regions could be in trouble. Some of the central parks appear to be as well, Yellowstone being one. Some of the other parks probably don't have enough visitor per square foot to make grabbing kids possible, so that's why they don't fit the pattern. But there very definitely is a pattern to be seen. So if you ever visit one of the busy and crowded national parks with your kids, keep them on a short leash, literally. On the next one, let's go with the 2016 presidential election results by county versus trafficking. This one was harder to represent clearly because of the correlation of the maps involved. So I have saved it as a PSP file, which works with Photoshop and PaintShop. You should be able to slide the opacity for the layers around and see the correlation. It's there, big time. Anything that isn't solid red is effectively a trafficking hotspot. Blue is a dead giveaway, although there is plenty of pink in that area, and that's where the trouble is too. And Twitter doesn't recognize that as a picture file. Great. So I'll have it as a flat file and hope you can see it. It's pretty hard to suss out visually. Here's a fun one. CV versus the 2016 election results. I expected this one, to be honest. Wow, yeah, just take a look at that. Okay, how about sanctuary cities? Are we going to be shocked to find correlations between sanctuary cities, CV, voting, and trafficking? I'll lay them out individually for you to make the determination on your own. Voting versus sanctuary. No surprise here. The city, the county, the state, and removed from. As we can see here, all up in Seattle and Oregon, California, and the Northeast, and down into Florida. We also have some here in the middle states. But the ones that are having the most with the sanctuary cities and voting, we all know that they're trying to manipulate the vote and steal the election. How about trafficking in sanctuary? Huge correlation here. Again, these major states where you had the CV, you also have trafficking and sanctuary cities, California, Seattle, and Oregon, and then the Northeast, and then down here through the ports of Florida, and obviously around here in the middle cities, the flyover states of America. Okay, CV and sanctuary, there can't be a link there, can there? Keck, silly kids, of course there is. Oh, the map helps make the point A, right? Again, as we look furthermore, as we're talking about CV and sanctuary cities, there's your sign again. And then the one that sat me back in my chair, shaking my head and wondering if I understand the world at all. I mean, there can't possibly be a link between deep underground military bases and CV. Can there be? Well, as a matter of fact, I did lay these all onto Google Earth too. So once again, I'll update and upload the KML file so that it contains all of these as overlays on the US, and you can play with the combining and the opacity to your heart's content at the end. And guys, I will drop this link of this thread into the description box below so you can go by and look at these maps on your own. I know I'm going by on this fast, but you get the gist of the story. So now we move on to the discussion phase of the thread. First off, and this is the best part, guys, and perhaps most controversial, are they using CV death and infection rates to cover for the bodies being brought up from the rescue and the deep underground military base cleanup? We all have seen and recognized that the CV numbers are inflated beyond belief. So much so that they cooped at all of the pneumonia and flu deaths for this year and stuffed them all into the CV column. Why? They had to know we were going to see through it eventually. Yes, it's about the election, but think even deeper. It's about obfuscating their behavior for the past 60 years. They know they are sunk once the public catches wind of this crap. Kids being trafficked for the sex, ritual murder, body parts, labor, and everything else is pretty much the line in the sand that all Americans can agree on. Remember, Q tells us it's all about the children. That is what will bring every one of us together. The left, the right, the middle, Christian, Muslim, anybody you could think of, black, white, it has everything to do with the children that will unite America once and for all, and then eliminate the ones that are conducting this evilness. We as a society have consistently placed a much higher value on our children than other societies and cultures. Look at the Middle East and China, for example, of the opposite. Both have horrendous records for treatment of children. So once we see that our trusted leaders from all walks, religious, political, security, police, etc., sports, music, media, have all been complicit and active in this crap, it will cause a shift and a revulsion unlike anything that has happened anywhere before. They won't be safe to walk down the street again. Moving on from that, one of the other key things we can draw from this is complicity of the Democrats in all of this. Trafficking, CV, sanctuary cities. What I showed wasn't that illegals were trafficking, but that illegals are being trafficked. Illegals aren't the problem. They are a symptom of the disease, which is ruled by the Democrat Party. Where Democrats lead, corruption, filth, disease, and waste comes to follow. Is anyone going to argue with the filth and corruption of Hollywood? And look where it falls in all of this. How about my beloved Seattle? My Washington dig from last week or so shone the bright light of exposure on the deep state here. Look at every map here. Seattle smack dab in the middle of it. Vegas, the same thing. Atlanta, the same, etc., etc. The last thing I'd like to toss out there is the role that the deep underground military bases play in all of this. First, while military is in their name, that doesn't mean the U.S. military. While places like Cheyenne Mountain are undoubtedly fully white hat controlled, most of the other deep underground military bases are black hat controlled. Black hat, let's define that in the military sense a bit. I am certainly not pointing a finger at the brave young men and women in our armed forces. Most of them probably have no clue that these places even exist. They may wonder at the entrance to somewhere that they stand guard over, but beyond that, they are not involved. These are CA and private contractors. Most black budget operations and projects have gone way of the contractors. They aren't overseen by U.S. military except at the very highest level, and even then, those are usually CA operatives playing a double role. These contractors include foreign nationals as either, in quote, researchers or security. Count on it. So many of these people aren't even from the States. Some are, yes, but not all, and maybe not even most. The bottom line, deep underground military bases can be easily used to move people, guns, drugs, disease, whatever you want, all across the country. Underground where it's safe from prying eyes. Oddly enough, it appears that most of these deep underground military bases now open up into Democrat-controlled areas, even more shielding. Wow, doesn't he tie it all together, friends? For whatever nefarious things that have been going on, much of this has been known and posted about by others, but I wanted to post most of this together in a single place. Now, to the fun part, where I get back to you guys. Here's a link to the KML file that includes all of the POTUS's DOT points. That's Department of Transportation. But also the overlays of each map that you have seen today as separate layers that you can toggle and play with and zoom in on Google Earth. There you go. Had fun with it. More importantly, if you have an idea to add, let me know and I'll get to working on it. Oh, and the Q linkage? Hang on, let me grab the drop. Discussing the CA and its actions, and then this phrase, it's what you don't see. And we have been discussing deep underground military bases, which are CA controlled, things that you don't see. I'll take it. Getting a direct cue is usually a cluster. I prefer the indirect nods. Adding one more to this. At RealJamieMC suggesting a deep underground military base versus National Cemetery overlay. They were good enough to get to the cemetery info and import it into a KML file for me. So it was a snap to get this result. This is an amazing thread, and I'm sure each and every one of you should take a look into this because it will be in the description box below. Friends, we are at war. Don't get it twisted. We have a lot of stuff coming out during the summer. It will be a hot summer, and we're only about 120 days away from Election Day. So anything can happen. Keep your head on a swivel. See something, say something, because I can promise you this, it is going to get worse before it gets better. It is always the darkest before the dawn, and we will get there together, my friends. Again, if you enjoyed this and you found it informative, please go ahead and subscribe to this channel. You can follow me on Twitter at TRUreporting, and don't forget to leave a like. Again, friends, it is always a pleasure for me to be on the front lines with each and every one of you day in and day out, because in the end, where we go one, we go all. Guys, if you found what you just watched informative and you enjoyed it, then please subscribe to the True Reporting family today. There are many ways to support this channel, like our Patreon link, our PayPal link, and our TRUreporting.us official website link in the description box below. Join the True Reporting family today and be a part of history, because where we go one, we go all.